guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm going to be going through all of the exercises, the best exercises for glute growth that personally helped me grow my glutes so that now I have a badonkadonk. So if you want to grow your bum, this video is for you. I will be going through all of the exercises that personally helped me build up my glutes, and then I'm also going to give some extra tips and some advice on what I found useful to help me grow my own glutes. Because if you don't know, I lost 120 pounds and I was just left with no bum at all. It was flat. I will show pictures and stuff as well, but yeah, my bum was non-existent. I've never been genetically blessed with a big bum, but I've been able to build my glutes up with weightlifting and weight training. I want to share what I've done, what exercises I've personally found really useful, so that you can incorporate them into your training program, into your workouts, so that you can build a big bum as well. This video is going to come with a disclaimer though, guys, right? If you do what I say, if you do the exercises and the tips that I give you and you grow a big juicy badonkadonk, you're gonna have to wear long t-shirts, long jackets to cover it up, right? Because you'll just be a big butt walking down the road basically, and it could be distracting for other people. So that's the disclaimer. If you enjoy this video, you find it useful, helpful, or any of that, I would appreciate it if you leave a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and click the bell button. I share my journey here on YouTube. I share my weight loss tips. I share what I eat. I share my workouts and all of that fun stuff. So the first exercise, which I think is one of the most well-known exercises for growing your glutes, but it is well-known because it is probably one of the best exercises to build your glutes up, so I'm going to start with that, and it's hip thrusts. So any kind of hip thrust, it could be glute bridges. So if you are just starting out, you could even do glute bridges at home. You can progressively overload it by putting on some resistance bands and doing resistance band glute bridges. You can do one-legged glute bridge, so do, instead of just like two legs, you do one leg, so you're putting more weight onto one leg, focusing on one glute and then doing the other glute. And then you can also progressively overload by adding in a dumbbell or a kettlebell, and then eventually moving on to a barbell, which is one of the best ways, I feel like, because you can always progressively overload on weights. Some gyms do actually have their own hip thrusting machine. I've not been able to like use one yet because my gym that I go to doesn't have one, but they look really cool. So you don't even have to add the plates on, you just literally do the machine and it's like a hip thrust. It just mimics the hip thrust. It's amazing for growing your glutes. Number two exercise that I have on my plan that I've seen one of the most progress with is lunges. So you can do walking lunges, alternating lunges, reverse lunges, curtsy lunges, reverse lunges with the Smith machine, barbell reverse lunges. Basically for all of these exercises you can start out with body weight, you can use resistance bands, you can use dumbbells, kettlebells, barbell, it doesn't really matter. It's just about progressively overloading. So yeah, with lunges, like walking lunges, I tend to use 2 dumbbells, and you can walk with like 2 dumbbells. Do your walking lunges, I always do 10 lunges there and 10 lunges back. Number 3 is any kind of split squats, like Bulgarian split squats. At first you're going to want to do this, if you've never done it before, you're going to want to do it just body weight, because it's really hard. Bulgarian split squats is an exercise I love to hate, because I hate it because it's so hard and it takes a lot to push yourself through it, but I love them because they just work so amazing on building your glutes. When I started having these put into my program, I did see so much progress in my glute growth, so I highly recommend doing Bulgarian split squats. Once you get used to that, then you can start adding weight, and I like to just use dumbbells, and you can always increase the weight as it gets easier. Another exercise that I find has really helped has been kickbacks. So you can do like donkey kickbacks and use your body weight. You can also use resistance bands. What I prefer to use is the cable machine at the gym. So I've bought like these ankle straps from Amazon. They were quite cheap, and I just put them on, and then I clip the cable, put the cable to the bottom of the machine, and put it on quite a lightweight, nothing like too heavy, because you really want to just be focusing on your form and doing the movement with time under tension, so you don't want to be rushing through it. You want to really feel the glute. A good tip for cable kickbacks is to slightly turn your feet outwards as you do it and bring it out. It just helps target the side of your glute. So that's something that I found really helpful. You can actually do different variations of kickbacks. I have done one my last session yesterday actually with my trainer, where you are standing a little bit more upright. So rather than bending forward and kind of kicking it all the way back, you stand up and then you can kind of put your foot forward, turn the foot slightly out and kick it backwards like that. And I've also seen other variations where people will do the side glute, so stand at the cable machine side and kick their leg out. But the one that I have been doing consistently with my program, that I've been like finding really helped, has grown my glutes, has been the bent over, slightly bent over cable kickback. So that's what I would recommend, but obviously feel free to try them other variations as well. I feel like they just target different areas of the glutes. Another amazing exercise that I feel like most people should be doing anyway is squats. You can do these squats body weight to start off with. You can use resistance bands. You can upgrade to either holding a kettlebell or some dumbbells or a barbell. I do love barbell squats just because obviously you can always add more weight. When you want to target your glutes, the wider you put your feet, it will target more of your glutes. So you stand in a more of a sumo position. If you want to do like just a normal squat, it'd just be like shoulder width. Whereas if you want to do a sumo squat, you just have your legs slightly more out. Any kind of squats like that, especially in the sumo position, definitely helped build my glutes. So add squats to your workout routine to get bigger booty. Another exercise that I actually really feel in my glutes is the sumo deadlift. So similar to the conventional deadlift, you just basically lift in heavy weight with a barbell and you've got the weights on the side. But instead of doing the conventional deadlift where you have your hands just on the outside of your legs, you basically have your legs in a wider sumo position and your arms, like your hands are holding the bar in between them, and you basically deadlift like that. I really feel this more in my glutes. With conventional, I feel it more. With conventional, it's definitely more back and legs as well, but it's not too much in the glutes. But with sumo, I just feel it takes so much more tension off my back, and sumo deadlift is a better alternative if you suffer with back pain and stuff, because it takes a lot of the pressure off your back, and I definitely do feel that. So when I do sumo deadlifts, I can really feel it in my glutes. Romanian deadlift, so this is where like your legs only have a slight bend in them and it's working your hamstrings, but it also works like your hamstrings and your glutes, like all of the back there. And obviously if you want to build your butt, you've got to get all of the back bit looking nice. So Romanian deadlifts, I do my Romanian deadlifts either with dumbbells, or you could do single leg deadlifts, or you can use a barbell. Another exercise that has helped has been good mornings. You can do this like with a resistance band. I remember in lockdown I was doing it at home. I got like this long resistance band and I put it, you know, like the really long ones, and I put it under my feet and then around my neck, and you just like bend forward and you can start off just like that. And then once I started going to the gym, I started incorporating it with the barbells. Just be careful not to put too much weight on. It is better to go light because of the movement and stuff. You can actually really injure yourself because you're leaning forward. So if it's too heavy, you just don't want to put yourself in like a dangerous position. So don't go too heavy. Just focus on using time under tension and like focusing on feeling like the mind muscle connection. And they've been consistently added into my glute programs, so that's why I wanted to add it in this video as well, because they definitely do work your hamstrings and like the glute area, just lifting it all up, making it look peachy. Another really good glute exercise that has really helped me has been step up. So you want to get a platform that's quite high, like a bench or one of them. You can even use your sofa at home or the little block things in the gym. So that's what I use. So yeah, you want to be able to step up onto a platform. You can do this with body weight, or if you want to progressively overload it, you can hold a pair of dumbbells in your hands or kettlebell. You can just go really slow and like don't stand all the way up when you all the way upright when you come up. So like you lean slightly forward, you step up, and then instead of straightening your leg all the way, just keep the tension in the glute. So you stand up and then down and then up. Do you know what I mean? And the last exercise I wanted to add on here, which has helped me with my glute development, is the hip abduction, where you basically sit on a machine, or you can even use resistance bands, which I have done as well, where you put resistance bands just around your knees, like above your knees on your lap, and then you open and close your legs. Or there is a machine at the gym called the hip abduction machine, just basically does the outer glute on the outside. They are all the exercises that I have had in my programs to help me build my glutes. I will say my glute development has taken a long time. It's not happened over a course of a couple of months. It did take a long time. I obviously lost the weight. I didn't have a bum after, and Then I did manage to build up my bum a little bit before I competed. So over the year after I lost weight, I was building and working on my glutes, but I didn't see massive progress. I did see slight progress. It was very slow. So I did build up my glutes a little bit, and then I went into competition prep where I dieted for my bikini competition, and I wasn't able to really build my glutes during prep because I was eating in a calorie deficit. After the show, which was April last year, I started eating in a calorie surplus to gain body fat after the competition, and I started really focusing. Like, my main goal after show last year was to build up my legs and my glutes. So my main focus throughout this whole last year, so it's basically taken me a year, it has been to build my legs and my glutes, and this is consistently training them. So for a very long time I was training glutes. I had a glute session once a week with 2 leg days. On the leg days was also working my glutes, so I was training my glutes about 2 to 3 times a week. At the moment I'm only doing once a week, but it's going to be increasing to a little bit more within the next week or so because I've just been focusing on my upper body. But my glutes, basically training them 2 to 3 times a week over the course of a year, that's how long the progress has been to build up my glutes. But I feel like I've made such a massive difference in my glutes, and the fact that I don't think I have good genetics to have a bigger bum, and it does really depend on your genetics, because some people have genetics where they just naturally have a bigger bum, and some people have a harder time building their bum. I had quite a hard time, I felt like building my glutes, but now they have built up, it seems easier to build them, if that makes sense. Like, now I've got like a good base. It's like, it just takes consistency. So just staying persistent and consistent and be very patient, because glutes, I feel like for me, has been the hardest muscle to grow. So that's why I want to get into some tips that I found really, really helpful on my personal journey that you might find helpful as well, because it's not just about the training. Training is only a certain percentage of it. The rest of it, I do feel like, is also just as important. Firstly, you want to be making sure that you're eating enough protein. So you want to eat about 1 gram to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. If you're 150 pounds, you want to be eating at least 150 grams of protein a day. I found personally trying to grow my glutes while eating in a calorie deficit basically impossible. It wasn't like massively impossible, but it was really hard. Like, I would see a little bit of progress, but not as much as when I started eating in a calorie surplus. And I'm not saying if your goal is to lose weight that you can't lose weight and build your glutes up at the same time. I'm just saying, personally for me, after I lost the weight and I was already pretty low in body fat, already being low in body fat and then eating not enough calories, it just was counterproductive. So if you've got quite a bit of body fat to lose and you want to build your glutes, I would just suggest eating in the smallest calorie deficit as possible if you also want to grow your glutes, because eating in a massive calorie deficit, you're not going to have enough energy basically to build up your glutes. Your body's not going to prioritize your bum basically. The smallest deficit you eat in, you will still lose body fat and you'll be able to use that extra energy to help build your glutes at the same time. And then once you've lost the weight, I would suggest either eating at maintenance or very, very slightly over maintenance, but you don't want to gain too much body fat. So I'm not saying to eat like go into a massive bulk where you're bulking and eating like 1,000 extra calories a day. You don't need to do that. Just like 100 to 200 calories extra a day will be enough. It will be completely fine. So, but that's literally how I started seeing more progress, was when I started eating more food. I had a lot more energy to train harder. I had a lot more energy to recover. I had a lot more energy basically overall for my body to just use it to build muscle. So making sure that you're eating enough protein, you're spreading your protein throughout the day, and you're eating enough food, they are like massive. Also making sure that you were getting enough rest, so go to sleep and have enough sleep every night. Yeah, so about 8 hours, depends on the person, everyone's a bit different how much sleep they can have, but just make sure you're getting a good restful sleep, you're recovering, you're giving your body enough time to recover. Don't overtrain your glutes. I think I've seen people trying to train glutes every single day. It's very counterproductive because you're not building like, your glutes is the same as any muscle. When you're in the gym, you're not actually building that muscle, you're tearing little fibers in your muscle. You're basically breaking down the muscle, and your muscle will build and get bigger and stronger during your rest. So when you're resting, that's when your muscle is like repairing itself and getting bigger and stronger. If you are constantly making tears in the muscle every single day, it's not going to have time to repair, so you will end up probably even losing muscle. What I would suggest to do is, because your glutes are quite a big muscle, you don't really need to train them more than 2 to 3 times a week. So you can even do like 1 or 2 glute days and a leg day, separate them, so you at least have at least 1 day rest between each one. I would say 1 to 2 days rest between each one, and then you can just train your upper body, like get jacked as well. Train your upper body, don't miss out on your arms, yeah, and your back and your chest. And also with the glute sessions, you don't have to make it like a 3-hour training session. You don't have to put every single one of these exercises in your glute session. What you can do is pick about 5 exercises to target your glutes, and I would say about 4 to 5 exercises to target your glutes, and do that 2 to 3 times a week, so you can switch it up. You can write your own plan from this, like these exercises, just choose a few exercises. For example, you can do squats, hip thrusts, cable kickbacks, good mornings, and hip abduction, for example, for one day. And then you can choose the other exercises for the other day and maybe do a mixture of both of them, or just repeat the same exercise every single time. But you don't have to do every single of these one of these exercises and fit it in one session, basically, because you'll just be there forever. It's just overtraining. You don't need to overtrain. If you do those things, I'm sure you'll build up your glutes, but the most important thing and the key to this is to be patient. It's going to take a long time, and you just have to be consistent and just keep going. Basically, make sure you're eating enough, you know, vitamins, minerals, you're eating your salads, your fruits, your vegetables, you're drinking enough water, your nutrition is on point, because you can train and see some gains, but if you aren't eating right, if you're not eating the right nutrition, you're gonna just make it a lot more difficult for yourself. So make sure you are still focusing on eating filling, nutritious meals that are going to fuel your body for your workouts, to fuel your workouts and then help fuel your body and repair to build up the bum, basically. So yeah, I hope you guys found that useful. I hope you found it helpful. May your waist get smaller and the booty bigger, right? I wish that upon every single person. We are manifesting this, yeah? We are going to manifest that every single person that watches this video is going to get a badonkadonk, right? To confirm it, I've been watching too many TikToks. To confirm it, comment down below. To confirm your big booty, comment down below a peach, and let's just, you know, let's just go get it, right? Let's go get that badonkadonk. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, comment that peach down below, subscribe if you haven't already, click that bell button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!